Welcome back, and thank you for availing yourself. I think this is our final run. I'm hoping that we can make progress. So the first topic we are looking at is SQL. I'm going to give you a scenario. I'll give you a table. The name of the table is employee. Okay, we may have used it, but don't worry, the questions are different.
Okay.
And this table has got the following columns: name, date of birth, okay, salary, country.
Okay.
Okay, I know we've used it several times, but we just using the same thing. Now, this table has got employees from different countries. What I want you to do, you said, in which country are you again? You are in
Hungary.
Bulgaria. Hungary.
Hungary. Yeah.
All right, all right. So I want to output all employees who are in Hungary. So I want all the field names, but all the employees who are based in Hungary.
Okay. So the query gonna be select asterisk.
No, I want the field names. I don't want asterisks. The individual field names.
Just names. Okay. Select name from employee.
No. All the field names. I don't want you to use asterisks. I want you to use all the field names to list all of them.
Okay. Select name, birth, salary,
date of birth,
country, from employee, where country is equal to, and in quotes, Hungary.
Okay, that's fine. Let's assume we want to output all countries, employees in countries where it ends with AN: Iran, Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan. How do we write that query?
Select name, birth, salary, country from employee, where country, like, then in quotes, we're going to write percentage sign and AN.
All right. I want to, so the name has got, in the name, there are two. So for example, somebody is Peter Ivanovich. I want to split Peter to be the first name, Ivanovich to be the second name. How do I do that?
So it depends on the database which you're using, but you can use split function, and then you will retrieve, like in the square brackets, 0 or 1, which will return either a name or a middle name, or you can also use a substring index, which so it has 3 parameters. One parameter is the actual column or string. The second parameter is delimiter, and the third parameter is the number, which signifies which
index position.
Yes, no, which delimiter we should take, the first one or the second or the third one. And if we say, for example, the first, the number 1, it will take everything from the left to right till this delimiter. If we put -1, it means everything from the.
Oh, you are using the index. Sorry, you're using index.
Yes.
All right. Okay, that's fine. All right. Last question on the query. I want to see the age of each employee as at today. How old are they as at today?
You can use the function which is called div date, and where you can put the date of the birth and the current date. And current date, I think it's a car date function. You see, date.
So again, it depends on the dialect. MS SQL will have different. Okay, so you say date diff open bracket. You have to specify the age. Could be in days, could be in months, could be in seconds, could be in years, comma, current date.
Yes, current date.
Date of birth, then it will give you.
Yes.
All right. But in others, it will be the now minus date of birth divided by 365.
Yes.
All right. That's fine. Tell me, in the transaction SQL, there's a concept of a transaction. What is a transaction?
So a transaction is a set, is a single logical unit of work consisting of a set of operations.
What is the major property of this transaction?
Acid.
Okay, what does acid mean?
This is the so A stand for atomicity, which means that transactions should be either completed wholly or none.
Okay.
So C, consistency, meaning that after transaction, a database should be after and before transactions, it should be consistent. So then I stands for I think it's integrity, right? Integrity.
I.
Isolation. For isolation, meaning that if you have multiple transactions, they should be independent from each other. And D stands for durability. So it says that database should be durable enough to hold all its latest updates.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you reach D?
Yes, yes, D, durability.
All right, okay, that's fine. Give me a typical example of such an operation. Where do we usually see it?
Insert, delete, update.
Sorry?
Insert.
All right, okay. I'm talking about a practical application like in a banking, you know, where you need double entry in a banking, so you can't withdraw money from your account and then doesn't credit your account. It's either you go to the ATM, you withdraw your money, or if it sells, the money goes back.
Fails.
That's not right. All right.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. The next topic we are looking at is that in the data ecosystem, we look at storage. Have you heard of the concept of big data? If so, what is big data?
So big data is a concept of storing data consisting of a big amount of it, actually.
Okay.
So it's very diverse data. And so, yeah.
Yeah, but there's another property that you have to, because you see, so one of the things you have to say that it cannot be handled or processed with conventional data processing systems.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, all right, that's fine. Tell me, what is a data lake?
Data lake is a kind of storage which contains which can contain unstructured and semi-structured data as well. So, and usually a big amount of it. So, what else?
Okay. What is a data lake house?
A data lake house, it takes advantage. Is it also a type of data management system which comprises or takes advantage of data lake, meaning it can contain several types of data, like unstructured to structured to semi-structured, and also takes advantage of data warehouse.
All right. Okay.
Yes, where acid principle can be.
I think I'm happy with that. All right. So in the storage system, there are quite a number of ways in which data is stored. One of them is in what we call a database. But even that databases can be classified in several ways. So for example, we've got what we call relational databases and non-relational databases. Give me an example of a relational database.
Spreadsheet, for example. Any kind of tabular.
No. All right. No. Okay. Here I'm asking you in the context of MySQL.
Okay.
Oracle.
MySQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server.
All right. But maybe before we go that, maybe let's see, because now I think we've got, what is the relational database?
Relational database is a database in a tabular form where tables are related to each other.
By what?
By foreign keys.
By common keys.
Common keys. Yeah, they are primary and foreign. Yeah, common keys.
Yes, all right. Okay, that's fine. And an example would be Oracle. That's where I was going with my question. All right. Another classification of databases would be what we would call columnar databases, column DBs. Can you give me an example of a column DB? Or what is a column DB?
Column DB, is it Mongo? No.
No. That is the, all right. Maybe let's do this. So we've looked at relational databases. There's another concept of NoSQL database. What is NoSQL?
NoSQL it's unlike a relational database. They have base model, not ACID model.
Okay. Yeah.
Which means that. So you want to talk to me about basic model or?
No, the basic model is fine. At least I understand. Yeah, but I'll just proceed with the NoSQL, what you are explaining. Okay, give me examples of NoSQL databases.
So they're not related to each other. For Apache CouchDB, for example, and what is it? IBM DB2. They are NoSQL as well. Even though they contain some certain degree of acids, but they are considered as NoSQL.
Okay. But give me examples of other NoSQL databases, common ones. MongoDB you mentioned?
But yes, MongoDB, Cassandra, I think as well.
All right. Yeah, but now you see, now that's where my question goes. This NoSQL also has got different implementations. For example, there's a GraphDB implementation, ColumnDB implementation, document implementation.
Okay, document-based column.
Yeah,
yes,
I think there's
white
another
column.
one. I think is it called Simple, or I can't remember what that one is. That's where my question is.
Yes.
So now let us look at ColumnDB. What is that?
Yes, I got you. So, but I think white column is actually the Mongo, no?
No, MongoDB is document DB.
Document, okay. I know that Graph DB is Neptune, I think, no? Neptune.
Neo4j? Neo4j. All right, okay, it's fine. Don't worry. Okay, have you had any exposure to Hadoop? If so, what aspect of Hadoop?
I haven't actually.
All right.
But I know it's a system for data analysis, right? And for data storage as well.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Nowadays, people talk a lot about cloud computing, and give me 2 examples of cloud service providers.
Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud Platform, Azure and Azure Cloud Services as well, Microsoft Azure.
All right. Tell me, what services are you familiar with in Azure? Microsoft Azure.
For example, Data Factory, it's ETL tool.
Yeah.
In Amazon Web Services, it's Glue.
No. Okay. Let's just look at Azure first.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sure. Data Azure Function. It's like serviceless kind of implementation of a snippet of a small code.
Okay.
And then what else? I used inside Azure. I used notebooks, Databricks notebooks.
Right. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
So
yeah. What else? Their storage system. What do they use for storage?
Blob storage. Yes, blob storage.
Blob storage. All right.
But they also have SQL database.
Okay, just is it called SQL or is it called Synapse?
Synapse is for analytics, but they also have SQL database, no?
Okay, so they've got SQL, then they've got Synapse Analytics, all right? Is that the same thing as warehouse?
Synapse?
Is the implementation of warehouse in Azure? Okay, do you know Redshift?
But I have never.
Okay, you know Redshift in AWS?
Kinda, the theory.
Okay, that's fine. Tell me, what services in AWS are you familiar with?
Redshift is fully managed warehouse service.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that Redshift is the equivalent of Synapse. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
Kind of.
So it's the same as warehouse.
Right? Yes, all right. Warehouse or analytics platform, because data warehouses are optimized for analytics.
For analytics, yeah.
Yes, all right. Tell me, what other service in AWS?
S3 storage.
All right, good. What other service?
Elastic, what is it? Okay, lambda function is serviceless.
Yeah.
And Elastic, what is it? Elastic
EC2.
Compute cloud, which is actually the compute service.
What else?
I've heard about VPN. AWS VPN. It provides the private network for the services, and also there is a key management stuff like AWS security, identity and access management, and another one is similar to Azure Vaults, which is a key management service.
All right. Okay. Let us go back to. Okay, so we've seen services in Azure, AWS, GCP. What services are you familiar with in GCP?
In GCP, none. Honestly, I've never worked with this.
Okay, that's fine. Have you had any exposure to Apache Airflow? If so, what is it?
Well, it's but I have never had an experience with this. But I know that it's a tool for analyzing and ETL. It provides ETL resources and analyzing. Am I right?
No, it's for orchestration.
Orchestration. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Have you had any exposure to Docker or Kubernetes? If so, what is it?
To Docker, I just use it for virtualization of Linux on my Mac for Oracle database. That's what I'm using it for. And as far as I know, Docker provides the container, how to say, applications in containerization. Yeah, applications, which means that any kind of application, container application, can be delivered over different types of computers. So, for example, Oracle database, they don't provide their native storage application for Mac, and that's why I should virtualize, launch a virtual machine of Linux in Docker, and I'm downloading the container of Oracle database and launching it within this virtual machine and having access to it. So that's how I use it.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's just go back one step. The first question on our SQL. If I'm to ask you to rate yourself in SQL on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is the beginner and 10 is expert, what rating would you give yourself?
Well, I think 6, maybe 7.
All right, that's fine. Okay, the next topic we are going to look at is the Python. Okay, have you had any familiarization to Python?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I used some libraries.
If the answer is yes, now Python is a very broad language, and it's got so many libraries and okay, so many libraries. All right, so many libraries and frameworks. What frameworks or libraries have you been exposed to in Python?
Beautiful Soup. It's for scraping data from websites, static data, requests to have an access to websites. Pandas, I also use Pandas. And a little bit of NumPy and Matplotlib for visualization, and a little bit of Seaborn to to make it nice. What else? Some kind of auxiliary libraries like random, for example.
All right. Have you had exposure to Boto3?
Boto3? I don't think so.
All right.
What's this?
Have you had exposure to a framework like Django used for developing websites?
No, never.
Okay. Tkinter?
No.
All right. Okay, that's fine. Alchemy?
No.
PySpark?
I used to do it something in Databricks, I think, with PySpark.
All right, so yeah, because you've been exposed to, then automatically you should understand it. Now, for most of your work in the data analytics space, if you are going to do analysis using Python, most probably you are going to use a combination of Pandas and NumPy. But the thing is that Pandas sits on top of NumPy, so you may not even need, in most cases, we don't explicitly import NumPy libraries. But maybe that if we may start there. One of the things that we do in Pandas is to work with what we call a data frame.
Yes.
What is a data frame in Pandas?
In Pandas, data frame is a two-dimensional, size mutable collection of data, usually potentially heterogeneous, consisting of row and columns, and it looks like a spreadsheet or SQL table.
So it is a tabular representation of.
Yes.
Okay, but there are two things that in the same Pandas. Do you understand what a series is?
Yeah, series is one-dimensional array. It's just simple as that. It's just yeah.
And what is a data frame? What is the relation between a series and a data frame?
Data frame can consist of series.
All right. Okay, that's fine. So there are so many things that we can do in a data frame. So in other words, data frame manipulations. That I think that is what sets you apart. So I would like us to discuss a few. All right, there's a function called lock. What does lock do?
It accesses a group of rows and columns by label by the actual name, contrarily to ilock, which accept number integer as a parameter. For example, first column, second, etc.
All right, there's a function called to. In other words, to_CSV. Where can we use it? What can we use it for?
For example, if we want our ready data frame to put into a CSV file.
All right, that's fine. We've got another function, toDate. In other words, TO underscore DATE. What can we use that one for?
Oh, come again,
TO. So you saw to CSV.
Yeah,
now
yeah,
this
yeah,
one
to
is to date. To underscore DATE.
Never encountered this one. I know to
If you want
JSON,
to
for
convert
example.
string to a date format. So you could have something that looks like a date, but it's not a date. So you want to explicitly convert it to a date. What do we do?
To use this function to that.
Yes,
to
convert it to date. All right.
Yeah.
Another function is AGG. What does AGG do? AGG. Okay, that's fine.
No, aggregation, no.
But how does it differ? How does it work? The way this one works is that in one line you can have, you say aggregation, then open brackets, mean, max, mod.
Okay. So
yes.
Yeah, it looks okay.
You don't have to do them individually, because if you want to do dot max, it means you can only do max. Dot mean, you can only do max. Mean, I mean. But when you use AGG, you can group your output there. All right. What does the group by function do? There's a function group by.
It groups data according to, for example, column name. df.group by, and in brackets, for example, if you put column name, it's gonna group everything by column name.
Okay, just hold on.
I think it works the same as a SQL function group by.
Yeah, they do the same thing, except they are not necessarily sorry, just a minute. I'm just writing something.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sorry. Okay, that's fine. I think I'm happy with that. What is Git?
Git is a distributed control system, which allows developers to track the changes collaboratively. And so it also have several commands like git init, which initialize the repository, and also repository is the actual place where you store your files and code. What else? There are other commands like git clone if you want to clone a repository from online to your local repository. And if you want to commit changes, then but before commitment, you add them to the staging area using git add command. If you want to commit the changes, you use git command -m, and in quotes you writing comment. What you've been done so far. So what else? If there is a conflict, you can merge branches if you need. Also pull and push. If you want to push, then you just push from changes from your local repository to online, and pull vice versa from online repository to your local one.
Okay.
So
have you used it in practical life?
yes, I'm using it right now. Yeah.
All right.
But we're using GitLab actually.
Okay, so if I'm to ask you to rate yourself in Git operations, are you a beginner, where 1 is beginner and 10 is expert? What are you?
I think I'm a beginner. I just started to understand what's this and how to use it. I know the simple commands. So I can, for example, I can initialize the repository, I can clone, I can push
All
and
right,
pull.
so what rating
commit.
do you want to give yourself there?
Okay, let's make it 4.
All right, that's fine. Sorry, I forgot to ask you on Python data frame manipulation. What rating do you give yourself?
I think it might be 5 or 6.
All right.
I mean, I'm mostly, I can stuck in like how the command look like, in syntaxes. But as soon as I find it, I can proceed to work with this. So,
all right. Okay, next question. What is system development life cycle?
this is the life cycle, like actually a cycle of development and product from the idea till the actual rolling out to a customer.
Okay, if somebody says this is we are implementing a waterfall system, what does that mean?
Waterfall system is one of these frameworks of working, which means that once you finished one task, you can embark on another one. So there, as far as I understood, there is no simultaneous task can be performed at the same time. So
okay, what is the difference between agile? Okay, the difference or relationship or similarity between agile, Scrum, and Kanban.
So all of them. So agile is a broader framework, is a kind of idea or paradigm, if I can say so. And Scrum and Kanban, they possess this. They share the feature of agile, and agile has these two. I think 5 or 4 manifesto. Which says that individuals and interactions over the processes, working software over the documentation. So an agile system responds quickly to the changes usually, and Scrum is kind of focuses on iterative development. And I think it's more strict from my point of view. And it also have roles like Scrum Master and ceremonies as well, like daily sprint review, Scrums, and stuff. And Kanban is a tool to visualize the work of employees on a nice way. You can look at the screen and see what people are doing and what their tasks, and yeah, I think
Okay.
that's how they manage workflow.
What is CI/CD?
CI/CD.
Mm.
Well, I'm not sure about this one.
All right, okay, that's fine. What is the difference between a data structure and a data type?
So data type is the attribute which tells the computer how to store data, how to manipulate this data, how to access it. And data structure is the format of storing and manipulating the data. So there are different types of data structure. I mean, data structure can contain data types. That's what I want to say.
All right.
Yeah, and for example, one of the data structures is array. An array. It's
Okay.
consists of I don't know, the potentially heterogeneous elements which can be indexed. stack as well, and queue.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. What is, in the context of IT, in context of computer programming, in context of data science, when somebody says an algorithm, what does that mean?
When someone says what? I'm sorry?
Algorithm. What is an algorithm?
Algorithm. Algorithm is the way consistent of consequent steps to achieve a particular solution.
Okay. There are tools which I'm going to classify them. Okay, Jenkins, Bamboo, TeamCity. Have you heard of them? If so, what are they used for?
No, didn't hear about them.
All right.
Can you repeat, because I need to write it down? You know.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Bamboo, TeamCity.
Okay.
All right. Okay, that one you can do. Are you familiar with the Linux? All right. PowerScript or PowerShell, sorry.
And this is like Linux shell, right? Is it?
Yes.
It's with shell scripting language, right?
No. So PowerShell is in Windows. There is PowerShell. In Linux, there's PowerShell Bash. Linux is an interface that you use to write Linux commands.
Yes,
but I'm talking about PowerShell. PowerShell comes from. It's like DOS, but it's an advanced version of operating system.
Yeah, but it's a kind of shell scripting, no? Where you can implement shell scripting there.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, for example, if you I kind of worked with this, like to navigate between the repositories, for example.
Okay, that's fine. Tell me,
for example, ls. Okay.
Okay, what are your career goals? What do you want to achieve in the near future?
In the near future, I want to get more acquainted with the cloud computing services and
just hold on. So, goals, you're talking about cloud. Yeah, what else?
To be kind of advanced in data engineering, especially in data preprocessing tasks.
All right, okay. That's fine. But for you to achieve that, you need to be studying something or to be upskilling yourself. What have you done in the recent past to show somebody that you are always learning, you are upskilling yourself?
I always trying to find ways to to hone my skills. For example, I'm using some online services to practice SQL. So, for example, every day I'm trying to perform to solve some troubles on SQL. The same with Python.
Okay.
Also,
That I understand, but what I'm trying to say is that have you had any certifications of late? Have you written certification exams? Have you?
I have just simple ones like Coursera, for example. I have them. Some courses on data engineering as well, which was about data manipulation using pandas.
All right.
What else?
Okay, no, that's fine. Are you a person who likes to work in a team or you like to work alone?
I would rather say both. For example, for me,
it depends on the situation.
It depends on the situation, and also for me, the ideal work would be like half split. You know, like 4 hours, for example, in team, and 4 hours to work alone, for example.
Okay, that's fine. Have you had an opportunity to mentor somebody? In other ways, to show somebody how to do something, maybe a student?
Yes. I'm keen on it actually, and since for example, I'm doing my PhD right now, so later maybe in the foreseeable future, I'm planning to. It depends on where I will be working, but I would like to share my knowledge as soon as I get them.
Okay, so you're doing PhD in linguistics, you said?
Yeah, in theoretical linguistics.
All right, okay, that is excellent. And have you had an opportunity to lead a team or to be a tech lead, to be a manager, to be?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't have this opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that as soon as I achieve a certain level of expertise, then I'm see no troubles to share them in a very comprehensive way.
Okay. Okay, I think we've covered a lot of grounds. So if you are selling yourself to somebody, okay, they'll ask you to say, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Can you tell me? So you want somebody to employ you. What do you bring on the table? What do you bring to the table? What strength? What is the organization going to get from you?
If we talk about, for example, soft skills, I would say that I would bring the perspective taking. It means that I highly understand people, in the team and to take their perspective, meaning I'm kind of a highly understandable person.
Yeah.
Then also, I think I have a strong self-criticism where I understand where I failed, and instead of put hands down, I can put myself together and work on it.
All right. Another
Then,
one. Okay, those are the soft skills. That's good. On the tech side, what would be your strength?
I think, at least in the foreseeable future, I think data orchestration and ETL tools are going to be my personal.
Okay, so data orchestration.
Yeah.
And what else?
And data preprocessing, for example.
Okay, is that your current strength or what?
Yes, but I'm keen to enhance them.
All right. What would you say is a weakness, and what are you doing about it?
This is the interesting part. Weaknesses are always hard to say, and it's like a tricky one. Well, I have to think about it, but it's really really hard and a tricky one. How to find it?
Okay. You don't have a weakness.
No, I have a weakness.
Then you're a superhuman being.
No. For example, can I say that I'm kind of maybe emotional? Since I'm keen to take perspective of other people. It's like a little drawback to get sometimes emotional. Then even in hard skills, if you ask me, then I think then I would really like to enhance my knowledge in AWS.
Okay, so cloud, you need cloud, more cloud computing exposure.
Yes, and
all right. I think let's leave it there. That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Last question. If I'm to ask you today that there's a project where I want to place you, are you project ready?
Well, I think yes, I am.
Okay. What percentage of readiness do you give yourself, project readiness?
Of course, it depends on what kind of project it is. But I think if it comes to data manipulation stuff, even for example, some ETL tools, then probably I'm like 80% ready. But I still need some.
Okay, no, I think that's fine. So I think we've looked at all the 28 questions. The other ones I will Okay, so I think we've come to the end. I don't know if you have any questions. If we don't, then we can stop here. Any questions?
I just wanted to ask, for example, these libraries like Django and stuff. I mean, they are mostly for developers. Am I right? I mean, do I need them in my future?
So basically, Python is very broad. It's very, very broad. So, for example, Tkinter, if you want to make a graphical user interface, you use Tkinter. If you want to use websites, you can use Flask or Django. So those are frameworks, and so there are several depending on what you want to do. So I'm not expecting you to know them. I was just asking.
Yeah, I understand. But I mean,
in our space, I expect somebody to have an average understanding of pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib.
I'm just curious. Like, do you think will I need to be exposed to Django, for example, as a data engineer? Okay,
no,
just basic understanding. Asking. Okay, yeah. Okay.
I was just asking. Yeah.
All right.
Because, for example, I'm not a developer, but I know Django. So yes, that's basically the
yeah, it might be an advantage when okay.
Okay, so I think I've come to the end of the questions that I had. Do you have any questions from you?
No other questions. So.
Okay, I'm looking for my partitioner for this. How can I put it? All right, then if you don't have any further questions, maybe we can end here and then yeah. But thank you very much for availing yourself, and all the best in your future.
Yeah, thank you very much. The same to you, and thank you for the insightful comments and like directing me to the data engineering field.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.